Oh, hey folks, Dude here, coming at you, coming at you, coming at you. This is one of those days that really I am not in my best status in any way, shape, or form. But this is kind of probably going to be more like a state of the channel kind of a video, if you were. It's actually been a while since I've done something like this. Truly, I am now really kind of recovering after just you gotta remember, to set the Wayback Machine, like, end of February, February 28th, I think it was, like, actually, like, a leap year. Uh, I had major surgery, heart being worked on, pulling out additional plumbing, inserting additional plumbing. So basically, I was the recipient of a quadruple bypass. All my major coronary arteries are foobar. My heart is good. I mean, it's like my heart has like minimal, very, very, very minimal damage. To the point where they're not even really concerned about it. But the recovery, I mean, still the scar line is, incisions on a sternum. It's weird. It's like, Mrs. Dude, she also has the zipper, which is what it's euphemistically known as. She had an actual birth defect, so they worked on hers. And they worked on hers a long time ago, like pretty much not too terribly long after we started dating. She was getting her chest cracked open and recovering after open heart surgery. And I did similarly. Now, mine was more of a plumbing issue. Hers was more of a genetically installed issue. But probably you could say mine's genetically installed as well, because both my grandfather and my father both were victims of their imminent, and impending demise was from heart disease. Which means I was screwed, So pretty much I'm basically one of those guys, I'm going to have babas for the rest of my life, be popping pills for the rest of my life. And, of course, there's the recovery therein, where you just don't bounce back after somebody cracks your chest and does major revisions on you. I mean, essentially what they did to me was they pulled out from my right leg between knee to crotch that length of vein, put that in my chest, and then there's on both sides of your chest the pectoral arteries. Now, what they normally do is they go in there. Those are redundant arteries. You really don't need them. You can live without them just fine. So they pull those out, they put those in, they take the vein out, they snip that in half, they use it for two more. So basically I have two arterial grafts, two venous grafts, which is basically the saphenous vein from inside of your leg. They pulled the one out of my right leg, stuck it in there. Now I'm rehashing here just a little bit for those people who don't know the rest of the story. So anyway, the recovery process has been fairly long and involved. I probably overtrained too fast, and I probably delayed my healing to some degree. But yesterday and the day before, I was back to working with the band that I work with, and that band is called The New Romance. The New Romance. And they're an 80s cover band. And the setup on it was the first time was, of course, all this coronavirus stuff. The setup on the first time was a internet-only video upload. And they hired a studio, and literally, we went into a warehouse, half a warehouse, the other half a warehouse is actually like a performance area, and we set them up, and they did a Facebook live cast. At last count, it was like 5,000 views and like in excess of 59 shares. That was the last time I looked at it. It's probably been 24 to 48 hours since then. But the length, depth, and breadth essentially was set them up, broke them down. And it had been a long time since we had done that. Full setup, full breakdown, and all the rest of it. And then today being Sunday, yesterday was the next setup. And we set them up and broke them down at a golf/country club. And they did a live performance outside. Now, I gotta tell you, from going from minimal activity to doing 2 setups and 2 breakdowns in the course of 2 days, I'm kind of feeling it, man. I'm kind of feeling it. I'm definitely sore. Definitely still tired. Definitely still imbibing upon, Tigger juice. And so it's also still in the point of recovery that I could now do these things. Humping it up the hill from the parking area where I parked the new vehicle. Oh, that's right. You guys didn't know. I bought a new vehicle.
My calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, You're gonna see some serious.
Our much beloved, our trustworthy steed, the 2008 Honda Pilot, was wrecked September of last year. By some city dirtbag who decided that he was just going to crash his stuff that he stole from somewhere else, totaled out my car, and promptly made me a non-Honda Pilot driving person. Really pissed me off. So in replacement, we got ourselves a 2016 Honda Pilot. Also another EXL, so it is not hugely dressed up, but it's dressed up enough. You know, leather interior, sunroof, decent amount of electronics doohickeys on board. The Honda infotainment stuff is not state of the art. Trust me, trust me on that one. But the car does drive nice. And yesterday, in between setting up in our first set of performance, the bass player lives fairly close to the location where we were performing. So I ran him, the lead singer, and the other band tech, you know, basically the guy that is the roadie. We all went over to the bass player's house, hung out, ate our lunch that they provided for us at the country club, and brought that back, ate it over at his place, hung out, talked to him and his wife, and basically, you know, they imbibed upon some beverages, and proceeded to go back and get our stuff squared away, and of course now set up the band, get the band going. But, you know, even they were like, oh yeah, this thing's really nice. You know, it is a nice car. The biggest thing I could tell you, literally the most biggest thing I could tell you between the 2008 to the 2016 Honda Pilot is size. I mean, essentially you get into it, the passenger area is physically bigger. The car is like, I think it's like 9 inches longer than the first generation, and they use that extra 9 inches to kind of, you know, stretch everything out just a bit more. So there's a bit more cargo area in the back. The third row seat is actually not uncomfortable for adults to be sitting in. The middle row has plenty of room, and of course, driver and passenger front area, plenty of space. It is still a car I'm getting used to a little bit. The nicest thing I can tell you right off the bat is, of course, having, you know, another car with a rear view camera is just, you know, awesome. It doesn't have the God's Eye, which is like the state-of-the-art stuff now where you see all 360 around the car. It does have the departure camera, which is something Honda was playing with for a few years. A lot of their stuff doesn't have that anymore. It was like, you know, a real big deal. They had it in the, you know, the Odyssey, which was the minivan. They had it in the Honda Pilot, which was their SUV, their big SUV. You know, big enough for Honda anyway. And it was in the Accord and it was in the Civic. And essentially what it is on the turn signal stock, you push a button and there's a little camera that's underneath the passenger outside mirror and gives you the view down the side of the car. Now, I can tell you for a fact, that car, compared to the previous car, and I'm saying car because it's not a truck, I've driven trucks. The biggest thing I can tell you about that kind of sucks about the newer cars is the A-pillar, or the pillar that is right beside the windshield and on the edge of the driver's front window and the passenger front window. Those are fat. Back in the good old days, the A-pillar, so if you look at the side of a car, it's A-pillar, front of the car, B-pillar, you know, end of the front door, C-pillar, end of the back door, D-pillar, last thing going down. So A, B, C, D as you're going down the length of the car. The A-pillar, which is around the, you know, the windshield area in the front of the car, has gotten fat. You know, of course, it's got airbags in it. In the Pilot, it has the airbags and the tweeter. So it actually has a speaker on board in there. And looking back from that, there's like a little triangle window. Right next to that, of course, is the outside mirror. So it's kind of almost like a minivan setup where you have a long sweeping windshield, a small window, and then you have the main window. And then, you know, of course, you're going back to the rest of the car. Makes the viewing for blind spots on the side of the car bad. I mean, I was driving around on the Baltimore Beltway, and there was a guy beside me in my blind spot. I didn't know about it. And just as an experiment, I got to the point where I ran him back to where he was previously, and I couldn't see him, tapped off on the button, and clear as day, he was showing up on the infotainment screen right in front of me. And that's the other thing, too, that's kind of nice, is when you put on the right turn signal, that camera lights up in the infotainment screens like this is what's on your right-hand side. So literally, you can scan, catch the camera for a split second, then go over to the mirror, or with people who have enough peripheral vision. And I have, you know, almost metahuman just ability to see like corner of my vision. My peripheral vision is just sick. I've always had like really good peripheral. And so you can basically scan center console, scan mirror, and all the rest of that good stuff like that there. So anyway, state of the channel being what it is, I now have the new vehicle. Lyft is texting me like crazy, so I need to go back to doing that. Of course, I need to set up the vehicle to have, like, my computer aided assistance to do Lyft and Uber, because it does run through your smartphone. So anyway, going through other channel stuff, I have been going through my voluminous pile of stuff, and I do mean stuff. And I try to keep it vague sometimes for, like, what my armory comprises, and of course, my ammo load and all that kind of stuff. I really don't talk about that type of stuff. I'm more likely to talk about, like, knives and what have you. But there is some stuff that I have noticed in the way that market trends tend to go. A lot of the stuff that I tended to favor some time ago, it's now going out of vogue. Case in point, there is a add-on, and it is literally a handguard rail that bolts in underneath the rifle-length A2 Colt-style handguard. So basically, the big black handguard that has like the little ribs all down it and the holes, the aluminum shielding inside it, what have you. Trying to find these are not easy. So literally what this guy is, let me open up the baggie here. I didn't do good show or video prep. I'm sorry in that regard. But essentially what this guy does is this is a full Picatinny rail with an angle built into it. They actually mill an angle onto it. So when you put it on that handguard, because the handguard is fat towards the receiver and then tapers down towards the front sight base or front gas block, as it were. But this actually does have the taper, so when you bolt it on there, it's thin at this end, fat at this end, to take into account the fact that the forend, handguard, call it what you will, forearm, thins down from receiver down to front sight. This takes this into account. These are exceedingly hard to source now unless you know exactly what you're looking for. But the nice thing about it is, because they've come out of vogue, they're now cheap. So being what technology is, and of course the internet being what it is, once you know what you're looking for, you can find it. So essentially what it is now is these things are in stock. I believe I found it on opticsplanet.com. So, being what it is, being 15 bones a piece, I bought two. Because I'm going to be using... I have this rule of two that I've always utilized where I use one, and then the other one is at a spare, or it's a just in case I break the first one. So, correspondingly, I was now scrounged around, and I think I put it back in the bag. Yeah, here it is. Okay. I lucked out. I went on Amazon, of all things, and I was like, I got this four-end rail. I really could use an ersatz or an actual Harris bipod. And so I went on there and I was scrounging around, and I went on Amazon. It was for like $22 with shipping because Mrs. Dude has Prime. I got basically an ersatz Harris bipod with a ersatz rail mount. So basically one of these cross guys that basically you stick it on there and it's got a cross bolt that locks it on there. Then this guy screws onto this guy. But it didn't come with just that. It actually came with an H&K style dual hook style sling. So basically you could either hook it to yourself at a single point, or you could hook it on both ends of the rifle. And it is one of these ones that has the elastic, so you basically got a little bit of stretch. And that was inclusive. So I'm thinking like $22, dude. I got a mount, I got a sling, and I got a bipod. I'm good to go. So that's the other thing too, is also scrounging around on the internet. There's a lot of stuff out there, and yeah, I know this is not a Harris bipod, okay? Trust me in that regard. It's probably going to go on one of my second-use weapons, or it's going to go on, probably something that's not going to be frontline, because I know what its limitations are, okay? The other thing too is also, it's a bipod. If it breaks, you basically pitch it off, you chuck it. I'm in for $22. I'm not going to cry, okay? The other thing too is also scrounging around on the internet. You got to be selective, okay? If you're looking around for something and you find something that's actually, balls to the wall, most excellent, and you break it. I know these guys are like, well, these things are made better, they'll never break. Well, when they do break, you guys cry. When I break something and it's something cheaper that's not exactly equivalent, but not as bad as, total just chapchastic crap, I'm not gonna cry. All right, so anyway, coming up on the 15-minute mark, I just want to give you guys kind of an update. I really haven't been putting out a lot of videos on YouTube, mostly because YouTube has been killing my views. AdSense has been stuck at the dollar amount has been stuck at for freaking ever. I think what they did is they did that on purpose, so the money just sits in limbo. So truly, I actually need to figure out some way to make my older videos now making more money, or I need to figure out some way to repurpose my videos, because the dollar amount that's actually in limbo is under $100, but my limit to get the cash out is $100. So I need more money to get the $100 out before I can accrue more money to make it actually even worth my while, because YouTube has pretty much killed the views, and they pretty much put the viewing content as such as that pretty much anything worthy of watching on YouTube, it's not so easy to find anymore. And a lot of the people that actually were producers and putting out good content, they don't do it anymore. So anyway, that's where we are with the state of the channel of Dude, and of course Facebook and stuff and gun things. That was the other one too, is I went scrounging through my pile of stuff, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's right, I started on this upper, and that one wasn't completed, and oh yeah, I got these other 3 uppers that need to be worked on. I got literally a pile of stuff that needs to get worked on that got knocked off from being a, I'm going to go down to the basement and, because that's basically my realm. The me room upstairs is mine, and of course the basement downstairs is mine. The basement is basically my work area and storage, so it's my area of realm, and they don't mess with me, and the basement sink is the man toilet. So everything's good in the hood on that one. And of course, I have my own refrigerator down there and good stuff like that there. So anyway, I guess I've now come to the point of conclusion here. Appreciate you guys tuning in, checking stuff out. And hopefully this video wasn't too terrible boring. But, I did want to kind of give an update. And it's been a while since I put out a State of the Dude channel video. And with the exception of me posting up the Dude After Dark rebroadcasts, I want to put something up here that's kind of original for a change, versus you going, oh, he's just rehashing the stuff he did the other night. Well, anyway, let me bring over this one, guys. Eco Cape Thundering, as always, you know it, you love it. Appreciate you guys, appreciate your views and all the good stuff like that there. Oh, like, subscribe, and click the bell. God, that is so annoying. I don't say that. If you guys think I'm worthy enough, you know what to do, okay? Catch you guys later. Have a good night, good day, good evening, good something. Have a good something, okay? Have a good something. Catch you guys later, and see you guys later, and what the hell are you guys still doing here? I was gonna go polish my rifle or something. Just go, just get out. I got something. Well, I got something to do here. Now that I'm all healed up, just go, okay? Stop. Don't look. Oh, don't look. Happy ending.